Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mansillon. I thought I'd come and say hello. Wish you a good day. I'm going to continue this discussion about transcendental psychology. I thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, for listening to those videos. I'm doing that to support, to inspire, to try to open up to new ideas, to expand the peripheral barriers of what is acceptable to believe. For as light workers, we have this mission to be outside of the box. For most of the time in society, it's much better to be conformist, to be like everybody else, so you are fully accepted and integrated. But sometimes we have to be gentle, but we do have to expand a little bit as an artist. It's okay to be a bit unconformist, to be non-conformist. If you're conformist as an artist, then it's kind of boring to be conformist as an artist. So it is good to be an eccentric a little bit. To be holistic. The situation is nothing else. I'm going to pull a few cards of the Dakini. They're like symbolic cards. The situation is the phoenix. It is a rebirth. It is good. It is burning from. It is completely burning up and being reborn from the ashes. So it is a power of the sun. And what comes around the situation to influence this is the tree spirit. Is called Yakshi. Yakshi is the tree spirit, it's the spirit of growth, is what we learn. For the path of life is very, very slow, but we're learning each and every day. Like the trees are growing, we don't see the tree growing, but every breath they take is like they're expanding towards the sky, and their roots get deeper into the earth. What we see before us is Ganesh, the Lord of Obstacle, is the master of wisdom. We see that we can overcome the obstacle. In our subconscious, the depths of the past, in the depths, we have the island of jewel. We know that we can make our dreams come true. For me, the universe is telling me that my dreams is coming true. It is just a matter of accepting and being patient and aligning and being ready for all to come into alignment and realization and manifestation. For right now, the situation is asylum. It is about being. It doesn't look natural that a horse may be resting within a tree, but it is we have to find this place of asylum where we are in pause, we are in serenity within ourselves. What's coming up in the near future is the mother's milk. It is the path of duality that wants to return to the great one, the sphere of unity, the one, Allah, the universal Father, all that is. For God is a singular consciousness, is unique and one, yet He is part of all that is. So as the one is who is, but is also all that is. So as all that is, it doesn't have form or aspect, because it's all that is. There can be no form or aspect to all that is, to infinity. And so we want to return to that connectivity, to that unity, and I'm going to discuss certain aspect that I think I'm just sharing ideas. Always use only what feels right to you, what you feel is connected to your own inner sense of being. Do not let anybody tell you what your future will be, or who you need to be, or what you need to be. Your inner guidance is really the highest form of understanding. That is really what will lead you to your self-empowerment. For life is like everything is life is created, whether it is easy or hard, to bring us back into alignment, our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, and astral body to be in alignment. Science does not understand that yet, the contemporary science, but eventually we will. We're going to discover this grand portal, the eternal soul. From a scientific point of view, there will be no more denying this eternal, multi-dimensional nature that is part of all beings and all things. What we are in this situation, our strength is not really a strength, it is slay the ego. It's about letting go of all the past. It's understanding that whenever there is fear, the ego is about to disappear. So it's fighting with all the tools that he has in order to keep its reality alive. And the only thing he has is the judgment, it's the competition, it is the fear. And the greater the fear that comes up, the closer we are to it means that we must be really close to a liberation. The deeper that fear feels, as we let go, we find totally banana. We find absurdity in all things, which will lead us to eventually this reconnection, this union, the wish-fulfilling gem, the lover. For we are here. There is very few philosophers that are come to address this romantic relationship, maybe Kierkegaard, But romantic relationship has inspired 90% of all literature. It's very, well, not philosophy, but all other literature has been inspired, and as we were created as sexual being, and so it is part of our nature to seek complement in the outer world to create families and relationships, not just for procreation, for fun and play as well, for match, it's very dynamic. Men and women were created different for the dynamism. For even men or women can be okay as well. But what I mean is that we have to reconnect to that nature and finding to be a highest form, the higher self, and try to attract the highest match possible for us. Sometimes I'm working towards aligning myself with my highest soulmate, my highest truth. But sometimes the energy tells me it is yes, sometimes it is no. So it's like maybe she has decided to make her life without me, and so if it is the case, then so be it. I forgive her. This is no big deal. I hope not. But there's plenty of fish in the sea. And for what's coming to us from the outside world is the chameleon. The world is adapting to us. It's matching our frequency every time. So we want to elevate our frequency in order to get always a higher reflection. What we feel in our hopes and fear, in our inner emotion, is the liberation. It is the release of tension. It's called blow your mind. That is. It is the release of tension. And the outcome is a threefold riddle. A threefold riddle is something, it's a psychological temptation, something that cannot be solved by mental reasoning. We have to move beyond and understand that we're going to go through a deep end. A deep end is like going all the way to the bottom. For once we do this cellular cleansing, my master guide explained to me many years ago that we need to, the flesh should pay heed sooner and get that right away done. But that was decades ago. But I was busy with my life, and the guides don't have judgment in relationship. They trust, they respect all. Anything that we do, they respect it. And so they explained to me that the human body, the physical body, is like a crystal, beautiful, clear crystal, transparent, but it has to be clean, it has to be cleansed, it has to be loved. And so when we do this cleansing, it's like when you take a bucket of water that's transparent, a glass bucket of water, and you put sand in it or dust in it. At first, it's like the whole water is dirty, but little by little, day after day, the dust settle down on the bottom, and when you do this cleansing, you are turning up the water. So there is all kinds of things. The more you cleanse, the more dust will come up. So it's like so it's like in a way, the more you feel like you do. It's like eventually we want to clean up the base, clean up the root, so it's all cleared and there is no more shadows that can interfere with our past. So and once we go through that deep end, we can find like a bubble. We'll become spontaneous. We'll be able to act out on all kinds of new energies, new possibilities that will present themselves to us at any given moment. Life can present all kinds of opportunity. For we are here to complete our mission. We are here to complete our destiny, to awaken to our own soul, our own truth. Spirit says, I am late to wake up, but Spirit also said, everybody is late. We should have been waking up and created this as collective ascension for 2012. And humanity is still in a deep sleep potential. Light workers are awakening, but the awakening of the light workers will be able to create from inner guidance, will be able to take step and action that will wake up the collective in the assistance, in the unity of our God self, for God commands all things. And so for it is what we seek to do is to activate the collective Messiah, to activate the collective Christ, the collective enlightenment. And no matter what things appears to be in truth, I can guarantee you that, believe me or not, but God is fully in control of all level of reality. Whenever God wants something to change, He will change. It is just a matter of God respects all free will, and each being, He has created each being in equal to Himself. So ourself, Himself, and so yeah, and He's eternal, so He will allow all paths to be fulfilled. For He knows that because the law is very conditional, the law of cause and effect. There is no unconditional, and like cause is always creating its effect. Same cause, same effect. Different cause, different effect. But the path is also supervised. This law that is Allah, that is one, that is God, that is truth. that is the Lord of Truth, no matter how we call him, is very stamped by the mercy of God. For God understand, and yet, but still needs to educate every soul. So we want to forgive the ego, forgive the doubts, the fear, the weaknesses. For the ego does not know any better, and so. For I also wanted to say, in terms of education, the greatest leaders are not those who are the more powerful leader or the more arrogant leader or whatever, but to me, it is the most important for leadership is the administrative wisdom is discovered through the ability to inspire a whole generation of leaders. The greatest leaders is the one who can create the most leaders. For this is going to be one of the central focal point for education. I believe that if we would create, we would focus on making of each child a leader. Not to be to say, well, I'm the boss, I want to rule over you, I want to rule over you. It's not about the ego, but it's about being able to take a leader as somebody who takes care of himself and is considering the administration of the well-being of all that is in his charge. And so leadership is one of the greatest essential that all children should be embraced. So it's like, because it's also show that we respect everybody, even those who are not the best in school should be for it's not Einstein spoke his first word when he was 6 years old. So it's like his parents thought he was a bit slow, but he didn't turn out to be slow. So we don't know. It's not because somebody is not interested in memorizing a historical fact that is going to be is not going to contribute something valuable to society later on. So there is a great deal of transformation of reforming that will be needed in education. Also wanted to discuss for this comment just briefly about certain political, not any situation, but from a philosophical standpoint, both from Plato or Pythagoras, always thought that the highest, the final outcome of the philosophers is to become a leader, the king philosopher, because it's it's the most difficult of art. Leadership is the most difficult of all art, and right now there is a great deal of misunderstanding on how to deal with China. For China is a great ancient culture, a very ancient culture, but the belief and philosophical system is Confucius. It's from Confucius. Once we understand Confucius, we understand where they're coming from. I think they're going to be doing a lot of good into the world. They're the biggest nation in the world, the most populated, and so they have a different approach to things. But if you understand Confucius, you will understand. For us in the West, we are working with more like the basis of our philosophy is Greek, and then the Lumière, the lights of the 18th century, or the 17th, 18th century, the philosophers. But in a sense, also what we have to. There is great wisdom in a Chinese philosopher named Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu, one of his, I recommend if you've never read it, to read the Tao Te Ching in English. And it's 81 poems, and in one of them, Lao Tzu explained that in order for a small country to possess a big country, he needs to put himself below. For a big country to possess a small country, he needs to put himself below. An example for what China invests in Africa, they are not trying to take over the resources. They create the structure, and then the local population is being employed in utilizing this structure. When in Occident we have more a tendency to come in and try to grab everything for ourselves. We want the resources, which is like the big country that comes and dominates the small one. So understanding that the Chinese have a very different approach to things, but there is wisdom to the Chinese approach. I'm not. Of course, there is at some point there's going to be a need for greater, more democracy in Hong Kong. That they're demonstrating that they don't want to go backward into this totalitarian. There is certain things. Every country has some things has place to grow and evolve. I'm not idealizing any country or any system or but I just wanted to this went through my mind. What we want to do in a sense is letting go. Is do not insist on old habit. Do not insist on whole process, on old beliefs, and so. also understanding that on the earth it's a strange place. It's a place where the righteous doesn't always win. Sometimes it is there are corrupted people that end up to have the last words. But when you stick up to your own truth, to your own value, to your own principle, you assure, you guarantee your success in eternity, which is very, very precious and valuable. To guarantee, to ensure that. And the closer you get to your goals, the greater the shadows will come to try to distract you from it, to test your resolve, because the shadows wants to continue to exist. And so I'm hoping really soon to return to my first, Spirit says he will be coming, to my first profession, which is a gallery dealer. I was a gallery dealer, and to return to Paris also, because I was born there, but also I will be able to exercise. I want to exercise some, to show my work and other people's works in London, in the United States, in Russia, in Japan, in Switzerland, in Spain, in Italy, and many, many other places. I also wanted to say, sometimes I've criticized some artists that are in the contemporary art world. I saw that don't have much soul, they don't have much spirit. I think the art is very boring, but they're commanding the huge prices, and it's like so we have to respect that. For I love all art, all period, all artists. It's like just whatever it is, it's fine, but I have preferences, of course, and I think they have to be greatly respected for being able to command those prices, no matter even if it's not my cup of tea. I have to respect that. But when I was a young art dealer, I started my first gallery. I was 19 years old. I opened a gallery in Santa Monica, California. And I was doing an exhibition. I was connected to some older artists that was very, very, very respected. That were like patrons, and they were assisting me. And so I did an exhibition with artists from San Francisco, Los Angeles. So I went to San Francisco. I was introduced to some important artists there. And when an art agent, which was somebody who was representing one of the artists, and an art consultant, art agent, and I was telling her, well, I think this person is really great. I was talking about one artist, I think it was Manuel Neri, sculptor, and she said, no, well, he's a good artist, but great, we need 300 years to figure out if an artist is really great. 300 years, because before that, there is a lot of perception, but with time, everything will be adjusted and readjusted. A really good example that we can take is that at the end of the 19th century, there was an artist named Bouguereau. For the price of one Bouguereau, you could buy 10 Degas, 5 Renoir, 10 Monet, 10 Van Gogh, 20 Gauguin, 6 Manet. So you could buy it like dozens of paintings for the price of one Bouguereau. But now Bouguereau is still expensive. He's still a nice painter, but his price doesn't come close to all those impressionist. Any major impressionist paintings will be more expensive than any Bouguereau. So it's like, but at the time, those artists were young artists, and there was only two dealers, but Durand-Ruel and Vollard. They were bold. They were trying to impose to show that they were great. Great value in the impressionist painters, which the art dealers are just as important to the creation of to the making of artistry as the artist. And but sooner or later, although there were some artists like Vermeer that could never sell a painting in his life, or Van Gogh, but eventually the art catched up. But we figured out that they were kind of important. At the end, we've always figured out what's important and what's not. And so when I start my project, Spirit says that I might stop painting, but I don't think so. I think for a little while I may be busy with organizing all those projects, but as soon as I set up a nice art studio, I'm definitely going to be producing. I'm also going to be going back to photography. I studied photography. I was a really good photographer. I have a good eye for photography, and so and I did a show in the Barclays Bank here in Caen, some of my photos, but I want to do some things very different with photography. Behind me is a little painting. It's a tribute to Vincent van Gogh. It's not very well lit, you can't really see it, but and here it is like a sum. It is like it's called the Grand Portal, the Teachers of Light. So it's like behind the black hole. There is so much going on. Once we pass through to the other dimension, there is so much that will be revealed. And it's pretty dynamic painting. I like it. Well, I'm going to finish with. I'm going to pull a few cards. So the highest wisdom for us today is the trees. It's growing. It is the trees. It is what we need to understand is the wish. What did we wish for? Be careful what you wish for. You will get it. So be always focused on. For we had made soul plans, and we want to work with that. We want to find a fulfillment. What we need to do is the angels. Is connect to our guardian angel. Our guardian angel will work with us, and he works with all the other angels and the earth too. So it is like the go-between with all the spirit worlds. And the outcome is living or traveling. So there'll be a great, there's going to be a great feeling, sense of liberation, and there'll be a new traveler. Maybe this summer we'll be able to travel. I'm sure we'll be able to travel, to explore, to go places. I'm going to finish with an easy song. Yesterday I'm trying to sing a song, but I was fasting. I'm not really good at it. I couldn't even do the whole day, but I'm trying. I'm working on this cleansing. So I thought I'd sing an easy song today. I'm sure you know this song. It's a very old song. It's just maybe you want to sing along. It goes like this. In the cavern, in the canyon, excavating for a mine, dwelt a miner, 49er, and his daughter Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Light she was, and like a fairy, and her shoes were number 9. Herring boxes without topses, sandals were for Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Drove she ducklings to the water every morning just at 9. Hit her foot against a splinter, fall into the foaming brine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Rubbing lips above the water, blowing bubbles soft and fine. But alas, I was no swimmer, so I lost my Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Ah, mister, I missed my Clementine, but I kissed her little sister and forgot my Clementine. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Thank you for sticking to the end. Just an old song. It's not a very happy song, but it's part of the folk. It's a folk song. It's very old. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I'm getting ready for monumental, very important internal transformation and external transformation. So I will comment on that hopefully very soon. I thank you very much. Wish you a wonderful day. Namaste.